Hi, and welcome to Epic Drunk Fiction. This is part 2 of Hungry.
I don't know how I feel about this, Jarvis. This seems a little too strange, and I'd need some time to process what I just saw. I honestly don't think I could go through with this, even if I tried, the blonde groaned as he carefully read the detailed description of his lover's secret turn-on. Because that's how it works. You read of a fetish and then you suddenly jump in 100%. No! Research! Research for months! You're an idiot! Peter's like, hey, your lover's into BDSM, and you're like, wow, that really encompasses a lot, and it's really, there's a lot that goes into that, and it's like, no. Get tied up. If you die, it's your fault. And thanks, Mr. Gray, you fucking asshole. Captain Rogers, I would like to point out that the Master Stark did not hesitate to please you when he discovered that you are a necrophiliac, the AI said in an attempt to knock some sense into Steve.
How the fuck did he do that? He's like, let me die for a minute here, and then you can fuck my corpse before I come alive.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm dead, I'm in the ground, fuck me. I'm dead, I don't care. It's beautiful, it's like marriage. Which is equally fucked up and beautiful at the same time. I'm married, I can cheers. Really, I guess I didn't really think about that much. He only had a few hours to pull it off, and I can't imagine how difficult it was for him. You make a great point. As much as this disturbs me, and I don't understand it, the least I can do is give it a try. Compromise, Steve admitted softly to himself as he scrolled down to the section of the list with the heading, Supplies. Everything that you will need is located in the tower, Captain Rogers. They're in the garage and the kitchen, and the items should not be difficult to locate. If you need any assistance finding them, please do not hesitate to ask for my help, Jarvis replied, his British voice taking on a seemingly helpful and kind tone.
Didn't, literally Jarvis just said, I'm not helping you anymore?
And then he's helping him! Fanfiction. Logic does not apply here. Thanks, Jarvis, the blonde replied quietly as he looked through the list of things necessary to satisfy Tony's fetish. After staring at the list for several minutes, Steve left the bedroom drunk. Steve left the bedroom and took the elevator down to their large garage on the bottom floor. Oh, that wine's not going down well. He grabbed a cylindrical-shaped spool of thick, white twine out of a toolbox sitting on a large metal table that would have fit better in a morgue or a kitchen than a garage. I'm not okay with this necrophiliacness. That's disgusting. After stuffing the spool in his left sweatpants pocket, the super soldier lifted the cold, heavy table and brought it with him into the large, industrial-sized elevator that he entered the garage in. He pressed the up button of the elevator and went up to the floor the kitchen was located on. When Steve reached his destination and the doors opened, he hauled the table to the middle of their oversized kitchen. The blonde set the spool of white twine on the table and pulled out his Stark phone to gather the other materials he needed. Let's see here. I need to mix together pineapple juice, brown sugar, honey, and orange juice. Then I need to heat it up, and I need a basting brush. Okay. We have all these things. Thank goodness I went shopping yesterday. I didn't think I'd be using them for this, though. After all the stuff we've been through, I don't know how anything surprises me anymore. Steve thought to himself as he located each item required for the recipe in several of the shiny black cabinets fixed to the wall. He measured out 1 cup of brown sugar, a half cup of honey, 1 cup of pineapple juice, and 1 cup of orange juice. After measuring it out, the blonde poured it all in a saucepan, but felt that the measurements were a bit too small to work for what Steve had planned. He doubled the amount of each ingredient, and after he finished, he walked back to their bedroom. The blonde rummaged through their closet until he found a large thermal blanket that looked like an oversized piece of tinfoil, and pulled out an ugly orange, red, and yellow blanket that Bruce gave them as a gift from his days in Calcutta. When he retrieved the items, Steve walked back to the kitchen and spread the atrocious blanket. Atrocious? Is it really that bad? Is it pink and black and orange and lime green and all the horrible colors? Which reminded him of a fire on the floor underneath the industrial-grade metal table and spread the thermal blanket neatly on top. Definitely lime green. Jarvis, does this look right? Steve questioned as he stripped out of his clean clothes, folded them up, and set them gingerly on the counter furthest from the stove. I need a drink.
Gingerly.
Who's Steve? I don't know what the Avenger... I don't like superhero movies. I don't know what's going on. It's Steve! Or is it Captain America? Okay, I'm like halfway through the story. It is established that Steve is Captain America. I don't like superheroes. It's not my thing. It's not my kink. It's just, I don't like superhero movies. Yes, I believe this will make Master Stark happy, though you forgot about 3 items on the list. What the fuck? Who forgets 3 items? They're at the bottom, sir. Would you like me to call into the kitchen, Captain Rogers? Jarvis asked, sounding almost excited that Steve was taking his advice. The computer! The computer is getting in on the sex scene. The computer's like, fuck it. Let's fuck. Let's do it. Let's enjoy it. It's gonna be beautiful. Sure, I think I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be, Steve mumbled to himself as he opened the silverware drawer, which was in the counter closest to the stove, and pulled out a rarely used utensil. Like the slotted spoon for pasta? Because we don't have one of those. There's a lot of things we don't use in our kitchen. I don't want to talk about it.
That definitely wouldn't be the turkey baster.
What do you want? I told you that I'm working on something awesome and I really didn't want to be disturbed. Tony's voice trailed off and he stopped dead in his tracks at the sight of his lover, completely naked, lying on the table on his stomach. I predict butt sex. Hungry? Steve asked, trying his best to sound sexy, but it came out sounding more like a scene from Not Another Teen Movie than anything else. Jesus fucking Christ, Steve. What the fuck are you doing? This is just weird. I don't know why you think I'm into this, Tony exclaimed, attempting to suppress his sexual thoughts that raged through his brain. When someone says no, they're just trying to suppress. Oh, really? If somebody says no, you stop what the fuck you're doing. You don't say this. I know you like this, Tony. And I'll admit, it's an interesting, fetish. But I want you to feel comfortable expressing your deepest desires. After all, you pretend to be dead for me once a week. Who pretends to be dead once a week? Who pretends to be dead at all? The least I can do is let you, eat me, the blonde said empathetically as he slid off the table, walked over to the smaller man and wrapped his arms around him. This is getting a little hot, like it feels. But I want you to eat me, Steve. God, let's just stop talking about this. I'm going back to my lab, Tony whispered as he unsuccessfully attempted to get out of his lover's tight grip. It's okay, Tony. You don't need to hide this anymore. Now let me take care of you for a change. I may not really know what I'm doing, but I'll try anything for you because I love you. Now we're doing this, and that's an order! Now take off your clothes and get on the table! Consent! Consent is not important! It's an order! Steve directed as he let go of his fiancée and walked over to the stove to heat up the ingredients for the glaze. Hold up! Glaze? Are we pouring shit on each other? What is happening? I don't know! I'm drunk! I can't handle this! Tony did as he was told, and nervously shuffled over to the metal table and lay down on his stomach. The thermal blanket warmed up his body at a rapid pace, and he imagined himself slowly roasting at a fire. Who does that? Who does that?
Who roasts at a fire?
The genius dick twitched in excitement of thought, and he closed his eyes and engulfed himself in his fantasy world. Steve unraveled the spool of...
Hey, what you up to? Oh, you know, just dick twitching.
Steve unraveled the spool of twine and began to wrap the smaller man's body up with it. I don't even know what's going on. I'm drunk. I'll admit, I don't know what's going on. The blonde was always phenomenal when it came to using rope creatively. And he tied up Tony as if he were a ham. Ham? What is this? Is this fucking cooking with Emerald? Feel like a pig! Wee! Wee! I feel like this is gonna be a two-parter.
So that was part 2 of Hungry. Stay tuned for part 3.